Yeah, but 94-95, you're MVP. You advanced to the Western Conference Final against the Houston Rockets.
Yeah.
And this was a great era in the NBA for big men.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a
and
good
you're
time.
one of them. I mean, it's this is you against Hakeem Olajuwon.
Yeah, it didn't get much better than that stuff. When we played those guys, felt like 20 times a year. They were in our division, so we played them all the time, and just great battles. I mean, all three of the Texas teams at that time were pretty good.
So how challenged were you in that conference final against Olajuwon?
Yeah, I was pretty challenged. Olajuwon was playing really, really well at that time, and I mean,
Here's Game 6.
Oh man, gotta watch it again.
Survival in these Western Conference Finals. Mismatches. Robinson. Off the feed from Avery Johnson. Olajuwon steps his way past Robinson. Robinson in the lane, missed the stop. Rockets with the loose ball. For Olajuwon. David Robinson just 7 points in the second half.
And David still has some growing to do.
And the Rockets have it. The Houston Rockets are on their way back to the NBA Finals.
Thank you for that.
I was gonna ask you about Hakeem. You ever guard Hakeem?
Dream? Yeah, I had to guard Dream.
How did that go for you?
It was all right. Reason being, Dream has a lot of faith. So mentally, stay down. Force him to make a hard shot, stay down. As I became a veteran and became more wise in the league, of course, he lost his step in his last couple years. So yeah, that was the thing, stay down. He gonna give you that. He gonna give you everything.
All the other teams I played for, one common denominator was great big men. Think about Shaq, Tim Duncan. And if you said right now, name the top 5 big men, I played with 3 of them.
Yeah. Who's who? You play with 3 of them.
Well, Dream's number 1 by far.
Okay.
We don't like to talk. Nobody wants to talk about. I think you have these guys who are quiet. Think about it. Dream, he's a really quiet guy. You can't get him to do much, to say much. So we kind of veer away from him. We don't talk about him. But to me, if you look at what he put together, Defensive Player of the Year, MVP in one season, all-time leading shot blocker, those things that you look at his history and what he's done for the game and how he started the game. This dude didn't play basketball growing up. Went to U of H where you think about, we all went to college where they're going to teach you. U of H, they just rolled the ball out there and he went to work. And so I think what his body of work was just incredible, and he's just a good dude too, man.
Today's special edition of the Last Dance Countdown focuses on an opponent Michael Jordan never faced in the finals, and that is the Houston Rockets. And here is what Rudy Tomjanovich, coach of those Rockets, had to say about Michael Jordan and his respect he had for that Rockets team. He said the following, quote, "Michael Jordan gave our team great respect. He didn't feel that they could contain Hakeem. They just didn't have the personnel to do it. And he said he thought we were the team that gave them the most trouble." Jalen, you don't get this too often from Michael Jordan. What do you think about this quote from Michael Jordan about a potential opponent in the Rockets?
Rudy T, fellow Wolverine, never underestimated the heart of a champion. Hall of Famer, representing Amazing Blue to the fullest. That is my guy, Jacoby. And let me tell you something. Michael Jordan was dead accurate, because one of the things that they embodied was positionless basketball. They would put Winnington, Will Perdue, Bill Cartwright, Longley out there to finish and rebound and play D. But to close the game, unless Patrick Ewing, David Robinson, Shaquille O'Neal was really going, they would play a small lineup. And so based on those dynamics, Hakeem the Dream, you seen what he did in the finals against Shaq? What do you think he would have did against those guys? They would have been forced to keep them on the floor. And Hakeem could get out on the floor, Jacoby, and guard a Tony Kukoc. He has snatched every rebound back-to-back with Dennis Rodman. When he retired, remember, one of the best at blocks, one of the best at steals, played soccer growing up, could switch and pick and rolls. Like, Hakeem would have been a problem for those Bulls. That's why when Michael Jordan retired, Hakeem wouldn't snatch them 2 championships up quick. People thought they was up for grab. Hakeem wouldn't grab them.
What's something that people don't know about Hakeem that made him special? Like, obviously, we all know the footwork was incredible. But what was something that he did on the basketball court that was more of an underrated thing that people don't quite give credit for, that was actually one of the things that really made him great?
Before I go to basketball, I've been blessed to play with great people and be around great mentors. That's why I wrote the book, honestly. He's the most honorable man I've ever met in my life. Most honorable, Dre. Like, if Hakeem, like right now, if I was stuck on a highway and they gave me a cell phone, they said, you got 3 people to call to come get you, I'm calling Hakeem. He's gonna be one of them 3. He's always gonna do exactly what he says what he's gonna do. He never variants from what he says. He's so honorable in what his word is. Like we had a saying in New York, word is bond, your word is bond. Yeah. Like, no, his word is bond. It is 100% of what it is. He means it all the time. Always the most honorable dude I've ever been around. So on a basketball court, you're gonna trust it. Yo, Kenny, I'm gonna be there. I'm coming. Don't worry. He's gonna be there. He said it. He's gonna be there. He's gonna be there. So the most underrated thing was his word. The second most underrated as a physical standpoint was he would be unbelievable in today's game because he could switch 1 to 5. And so guy come off the pick and you got the 1, oh, he's moving his feet. And if you throw the lob, he's going back to still try to contest the lob. I've never seen a player that could double in the pick and roll and get back to his man on the roll and still block the shot. He was the most unique athlete in terms of instinct. Like, he just knew when to leave, he knew when to stay, he knew when to come. I know you're a great defensive player, and that's why I kind of watch certain things that you do on the pick and roll. And it's okay, imagine if you were 6'10", and your athleticism was Blake Griffin.
I'm sorry, I mean, come on.
Oh my gosh.
You've gone from celebrated #1 pick, rookie of the year, a Navy man, a businessman, or an office guy to an MVP. I mean, It's all there except for this championship, and you were so close that year losing to Houston.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's, when you're wrapped up in this is the thing that you really want to, accomplish, and you've put all of your energy and effort towards it, and then you fail so publicly, and so, it's a pretty low point. And when you get embarrassed, I mean, there's nothing you can say. I mean, he was playing amazing basketball, and I played okay, but okay is not good in the playoffs. In the playoffs, you actually have to step it up and be better. And he did that against us, and they ended up beating us in 6 games. And I think that was the worst moment of my pro career. When after Game 6 in Houston, going back into that locker room and hearing the announcement, tickets to the NBA Finals will go on sale on Friday. And I was like, oh man, this is horrible. And then they went on to beat Orlando in the final.
He was a monster. He was unguardable. The Bulls never went to a guy inside. So, throwing Cartwright out there or Whittington, they wasn't going to ever get the ball. So Hakeem would have been in a very interesting situation. I mean, because he didn't have to play defense on those guys. He would have been trying to stop Michael, things like that. But listen, hey, it doesn't really matter. Nobody can take the Rockets championship away from them. And Hakeem is one of the best to ever do it. And that's all you can say.
I'm not agreeing with you on that because I think Dream was laid way better. And then Shaq had a lot of
I didn't hear what you said. What'd you say?
Dream was way better.
I thought that's what you said.
I think so.
Did you hear that?
Yes. Because the Dream was all around basketball. The Dream had a lot of shake and bake. He could fade away on you. He shot free throws. He did a lot of more. Shaq was more of a dominant basketball player. Dominant.
Where skill set, who you got?
I'm gonna give it to Dream.
Of course,
I'm gonna give it to Dream.
There's no question.
But Dream could run the floor really well. Shaq could run the floor when he first got in the league and did like this. But then he became a player where you put it on the block, and we had to double him because he was so strong.
The Dream.
What the Dream is, Shaq couldn't guard Dream.
Right.
Dream would give him 30 and 40 anytime he felt like it. But it was just that way. And we couldn't change that with Dream because Dream almost played like us. Played like a guard.
Right.
He played like a guard. He's very finesse. You get him on a thing, he'll hit you with 19 moves, and next thing you know, you way over there, and he looking at you and he laying that
Did Dream talk on the floor?
No, Dream you couldn't understand what Dream was saying in the first place. So, he wasn't really on that. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't on that. He'll just give you buckets.
Tell me about the 90s.
I'm going to go at the 5 spot. I'm going to go with Hakeem Olajuwon. Because for me, I know I was coming in and I was emerging / already emerged. He was the only guy that I couldn't figure out. I couldn't figure him out. And he was the only guy that I couldn't intimidate.
Which will be him. But in the 90s, I would take Hakeem Olajuwon and what it is that he represented at the center position. I mean, he redefined what it was to be an athlete at that spot in much the way that, Chamberlain did with his footwork and athleticism. He was incredible.